Gonna block in some straps now. I got my placeholders in there. We got some neck armor and a really rudimentary sword. Speaking of, what I'm about to make is actually courtesy of Bjorn Hurry. You can check him out at bjornhurry.com, BJORNHURRI.com. Once I got this guy to a certain point, I showed it to the Eat 3D guys, and they kind of showed it around, and I got some valuable feedback. And Bjorn was nice enough to send back some paint overs. So we added some elements just to kind of tie them together, and that's what I'm making now, is some straps and that sword. So it was very nice of him to help me out. So again, just like when we were doing the belt geometry, we're going to use the retope function just to kind of create some quick geometry. And here, when I get to the edge of his pec, I'm actually going to skip a large area, because if you actually just keep going around his body, it's going to stick to his body where you click. So if you want to go across a great expanse and have a straight line, you don't want to click on his body. You want to skip areas to make sure that it kind of stretches across. And we're going to add another strap. He's going to have a big shoulder armor thing. So this is what's going to keep it on his body. And I'm going to go ahead and add all these straps into one subtool, which you'll see at the very end. But you know, you don't have to do it one at a time. You can just keep drawing retopologizing lines. Here's a strap that'll go from the sword, stabilize his leg armor, thigh armor. And again, using the techniques we talked about in part 1, you can move those retope lines around as you need to. And again, just keep hitting A to see preview your adaptive skin. And you can change your skin thickness. I think we changed it to 0.01. We don't need thick straps, so that's fine. So once you get what you like, you can make your adaptive skin. And I think I probably took that down to subdivision level 1 before I made my adaptive skin. And then append it. And then you've got a subtool with all your straps. And I'm going to add some rings to the strap next, I think. Oh nope, I'm gonna make another strap. And like I mentioned before, if you want to make that long expanse, make sure you go from the beginning point to the end point, and then make your geometry crisscross across it. So here's where I make my adaptive skin, and go ahead and append it. I'll delete that other one I made because I realized I left a strap out. Now we've got our final straps holding all of our stuff together. And here's where I'm going to add the rings, and I'm just going to use a Z-sphere, or a Z primitive, the ring 3D. I'll make it a polymesh 3D, and then append it to my main guy, and it's a little big. What we'll do is go ahead and shrink it down. And I'm shrinking it right down in the middle, so it's actually can be mirrored if I need to save any sort of space. So it's right down the middle. And just using transpose and keeping it in the middle, I'm shrinking it down. And there's a ring for that front center strap that'll just kind of hang off the bottom of his neck armor. And then I'm just going to clone that ring and transpose it to his back. And there will be a ring that'll attach his neck armor to that strap. And I want to make that ring a little bit thicker, so I go into the deformation menu and inflate it. And that just inflates it across its normal, so kind of thickens that ring up. And now I'm just going to move the straps so they're not intersecting his body a little bit. And I clone that last ring, and I'm going to make just one more. And that's going to attach this strap to the sword. And now I'm only showing the straps that I made in the rings. What I'm going to do is do a merge visible, and then I'm going to delete those extra subtools, and I'm going to append those merge visible into one subtool. So it kind of keeps my subtool count down. Makes it a little bit more manageable. Here I've got a strap that's going to hang off of his thigh armor. And I'm actually going to detail this one out. I don't actually go into detail on detailing out those straps that I just made. You've seen me detail out a strap before, and it's the same process, so I'll spare you. But this one I will, just so you can see a technique that you can actually detail one strap out and then duplicate it, or clone it, and then merge it all back down. So that's basically what I do here. Making a strap, give it a metal end, put some rivets on it, give it a little bit of little texture. The drag dot with an alpha, and I do actually bump the curve out to kind of get it to bump out a little nicer. I went and stored a morph target and grabbed my layer brush, and using the line snap to track backtrack options in the lazy mouse that we talked about in part 1, really quickly I was able to just kind of pull the edge of that strap out. Now I've got my detailed strap underneath my thigh armor, and I went and cloned and appended that strap. And what this is going to do is it's just going to have leather straps hanging down underneath the thigh armor, which is going to protect his leg a little bit more, but also allow him to remain flexible. So it's not as maybe protective as an actual full metal piece. It's not going to protect you from arrows probably, but if somebody takes a sword across those leather straps, it'll probably keep it from chopping into your leg at least. Probably still hurt like hell, but you won't lose a leg. And what I'm doing is just, again, cloning and appending that detailed strap and just working my way around. And I think later on I probably add rivets to the thigh armor to make it look like they were attached somehow in there later on. So again, clone and append, and just using transpose to kind of position them real quickly. And then what I'm going to do is hide everything else except showing that again, like I did in the technique before. And then I'm going to hit merge visible. That's going to merge all those visible subtools, so I can actually delete those now and then append the merged thigh armor straps. So now they're all one subtool, and it still has a subdivision level, so there it is at subdivision level 1. And I can go back up through the details. And you can see in frame they're all different polygroups, so I can hide and show them at will.